We've got sound and we've got picture, ladies and gentlemen.
My background, I'm too different.
Well, it's fine now. You had your chance. I asked you what you wanted for your background.
I want to switch.
It's too late.
It's not too. It's never too late.
We're in it now, baby. It's too late.
Don't forget to turn the microphone.
Oh, you gotta kill your sound.
You kill your sound.
Alrighty. I'm just waiting for my co-host to introduce this show because that's your job now.
Our show, welcome to our show, which is You Don't Have Anything Else to Do, review.
That's actually a good name. I've been calling it Just Watch, but I like that.
Yeah, you don't have anything else to do, review. But cool. A lot of y'all are doing stuff now, so y'all might not see this till later. I know y'all out in them streets.
She preaching.
I've been seeing the traffic. We agreed to stay at home. We were listening to Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Y'all are moving around out there. We see that. But seriously.
I forgot my wedding ring.
It's too late now. Come on.
I don't have my wedding ring. I took it off to wash my hands.
It's all good. It's all good.
Don't divorce me.
I get it. I get what you want up here. Come on, let's get it.
Okay, so that's the name of our show. I'm Tony Daniel without a wedding ring. So Tony Allen. No, just kidding, Daniel.
Oh.
And you are?
I'm Jay Dan. You guys know me as a bunch of things, but today I'm here with my wife to discuss the new Hulu original show.
Yes, Little Fires Everywhere.
Based on a book.
It is based on a book. If you've read the book, go ahead and comment below because we haven't read it. And go ahead and shout out. We see a couple people in there, so wave, speak, let us know you're in
people, how you doing?
You're in there. So we're gonna review Little Fires Everywhere, which is the show starring Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon.
Yes.
A couple appearances by Jesse Williams.
Yes.
What is Pacey's name from Dawson's Creek?
Dawson Creek.
No, his name is Joshua Jackson. Is also in this.
Dawson's Creek.
No, his name is not Dawson's Creek.
Let the man be Dawson.
No, but he's in the show as well. Okay. So that's just you can see there on our picture here.
And I don't know her name, but she United States of Tara alum. She was a sister.
Oh, I don't know her name either.
I don't know her name. Great actress. She deserves a name.
Yes.
She's in the show as well. So if you like great actress who deserves a name, she's also in that show. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna beat you to it.
Go. No.
What is the show about?
All right, Little Fires.
Well, how many episodes and how long is it?
All right, so Little Fires Everywhere is a Hulu original show, which you can now stream on Hulu. All 8 episodes are available, and they range from roughly 45 minutes, and I think the longest one I saw was like an hour 5. And the show is about it depends on who you see as the main character. So the show is about...
It's 2 main characters, I would say.
Right. One mother comes in contact with another mother who's trying to raise her child. She has a past shrouded in mystery. And the other one is a mother of privilege and affluence. Look, man, it's a white mom and a black mom in Shaker, Ohio. And they are clashing in all the ways that you would think those 2 people would clash in Shaker, Ohio. Can I get away with saying that? Is that cool? I'm just going to slide me up a little bit right here.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think, basically, I think the show is about Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington. Reese Witherspoon obviously is a white mother, and Kerry Washington is a black mother.
What gave that away?
And Reese Witherspoon is a rich, affluent white mother who lives in this neighborhood, and Kerry Washington comes in, and she's a black, poor, struggling single mother. Her and her daughter have moved from town to town. This is all in the first episode, so we're not spoiling anything.
Right.
And she comes and they're clashing a little bit. Like you have rich and white and black and poor, and it's the classism, racism, some sexism. Yeah, some sexism.
A lot of conversation about motherhood, relationships between mothers and daughters, husbands, wives, escaping your past. How much are you beholden to what you've done in the past? How much should that shape your future? Yeah, it's a lot in there.
It is. It's a lot to unpack. It's a heavy one. And we wanted to talk about it a little bit because if you've seen the memes, maybe you haven't seen the show, but you've seen the Kerry Washington memes,
right?
Or you've seen the show, but haven't seen the memes. But if you've seen it, then you know what we're talking about. Like it's worth a review, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a review. At least we'll get to whether or not it was worth viewing, but it's definitely worth a review.
Okay.
Which one supposes the other? No, no.
I guess
that was a good twist. So.
Go ahead.
Initial thoughts. What are your initial overall thoughts about Little Fires Everywhere?
Initially, so Let me give a shout out to Mr. Yancey. Mr. Yancey. He knows who he is, Sam Class. Who told us we had to watch this. Like, we had to check it out. He was the one who was like, y'all need to get in there. You need to watch this. Right. And I'm like, Sam has recommended a couple things for us that I think were really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like
definitely.
7 seconds, a couple things like that. Yep. But we ended up watching it, and it's a great show.
It's a really good show.
Once you start watching the first episode, you're like into it. Like, you can't put it down a little bit. I imagine the book is the same exact way.
I would hope so.
Yeah, but it's definitely like one of those shows where once you start watching it, you really get into it. So my overview of it is, if you start one episode, you're going to find yourself sitting down and watching 8 episodes all together.
Easily, which we almost did.
We did. We watched one day.
Like
we watched 6 episodes, and then we were like, wait.
We took a break from it
we
to live life.
We need to sleep.
Yeah, we need to live life a little bit. We're stretched into like maybe a week of break.
Yeah,
and then we woke up this morning and wrapped up the last 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a good series. That's my first initial viewing of it. I don't want to spoil too much, but what about you?
So my initial view of it was it, and I said it to you earlier. It satisfies like that need that I missed from those great dramatic movies that we were watching. Mm-hmm. Now that we can't go to the theater, it's just something about like they really interweave these stories so well, and the commentary that they're having about these stories. Like you said, once you're in it, you're in it. Mm-hmm. There's no, oh, this is like I don't even. You know how sometimes a series will have a boring episode. Mm-hmm. I don't even think there was like a boring episode in this season.
There wasn't.
And I top to bottom, man, I was satisfied with it. It's a hard thing to say you enjoy it because it's not like entertainment per se, but I enjoyed it a lot. I felt really into it with it. So yeah, but and of course, for those of you who are watching, who have seen the show, give us your general overview, what you think of the show, what you thought of it in the comments. Just a quick, I liked it, I hated it, whatever you want to say, because we would definitely love to hear from you guys as well. This ain't a one-sided conversation.
Right.
I mean, it is one-sided, but it ain't one-sided between us.
All right.
So yeah. So
then I guess, without us trying to give too much away, what would you say the pros of the show are?
I'm going to pause for a comment. Lauren Lala Jones, who
Hey, Lauren!
CSU alumni, stand on your feet. Listen, she says she's never seen it, but now she wants to.
Oh, Lauren, check it out.
All right, well, let's just
check it out.
Wait, let's shut this down. We've done our job.
No, you need to see it.
Wait.
You're going to like it.
Ronald Harris says he loved it. Exclamation point emoji, my man, Mr. Misfit Millionaire.
Kayla says it was really good.
Really good, all caps.
It's like, what if you've seen it, you understand what we're talking about. Like, you just get it.
Yeah.
Like, Kerry Washington's faces aside, it's a decent show. And I want to give a shout out. Well, we're gonna get into that's your Kerry Washington.
My nose is too big.
It's a quiver of a lip.
My mouth. I think mine was better.
Let me see. No, mine is better.
We're living in this moment too long. We're living in this moment way too
long.
long.
Tell us who nailed the Kerry Washington face
I think
better.
mine was better. Tell us below.
I think it was me. I nailed it.
She think it was you. Anyway, where's your wedding ring?
I know, it's in the room. I took it off. Kayla didn't say it. I was about to say what her face is. Exactly.
Yeah, no. Kerry, that's a staple.
So let's talk a little bit about the pros of the show.
Okay. Pros?
I'll go first.
Good job. Good job. You lead, I follow. You know how it goes.
I think the pros of it, I think the truth of the matter is if you're going to get into it, it's going to give you a lot to sort of discuss a little bit. Like, almost every episode that we had to pause on our discussion on it because we're like, save it for the review.
Right.
But there's so much racism, there's, like I said, classism that goes on in it that you just want to discuss it a little bit. Like, Kerry Washington has a daughter, and through the course of it, she sort of loses her daughter.
Right.
Like, her and her daughter are having strife. Like, if you've had a teenage daughter, I haven't, but I was hell for my mother when I hit the teenage years.
I heard.
And yes, my mother has told him. So I think if you
listening, because she should have told me that before she gave you to me.
Kerry Washington,
tell me that after I bought the car.
Shut up.
All right, I'll stop.
And Reese Witherspoon both have teenage daughters, and it's like their teenage daughters are going through that stage where you hate your mother doesn't understand you, and it's just a lot of strife.
Right.
And I think
we're gonna get to some of the comments.
Yeah. Okay. I think what I really liked about that is the push and pull about it. I don't think there's any necessarily wrong person in it. No. You just see human people. There is some wrong. Excuse me. There are some wrong actions, but we're human and we make mistakes. And I love that about the show. Like, you see, I'm mostly on Kerry Washington's side, but I see where being a parent, you make mistakes and you sort of grow from it a little bit. What about you?
Before I get to mine, I want to just go through some of the comments.
Okay.
So the last thing we said, Kayla says she doesn't remember Kerry Washington's facial expressions being that bad in Scandal.
Okay.
They were, sis.
She wasn't as skinny, so it's more
didn't stand out
prominent
as much.
now because
Yeah.
she's skinnier. Yeah.
Let's see. Lauren laughed at us doing the faces, and she said she thought you had the better Kerry
Thank
Washington
you.
face.
Shout
But
out.
just sorority, she's gonna say that, so
No.
it's fine. I
She
get
see
it.
it.
You got to ride for your team.
Go ahead.
Ronald Harris says, which I agree with. He loves how the writers gave her an artistic background.
They really did. Yeah.
Yeah. That's always a good entry point for me. Now what were we asking?
Your pros.
My pros, specifically, or just overall. So overall, I think the thing that impressed me the most was like they did a really good job of weaving all these stories together and kind of giving you like. I have to be specific. There's an episode that's about 70 cents.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah.
there's a character in the show who is 70 cents short on something that she needed at the time.
Right.
And it literally changed the
Her
course
whole
of her
entire life. Yeah.
And then there's a character on the show who was 70 cents short on the same that same amount short, and she was given a pass.
Now,
And-
I think to clarify,
Go for it.
the one woman whose life was changed, she was ethnic. She's an Asian woman. She was 70 cents short. It changed her whole entire life.
Yes.
And there's a white girl because she's a young
kid.
adult.
Yeah.
So at one point she's 70 cents short, and in
Almost no
privilege,
problems.
a little bit with privilege, when she's 70 cents short,
She's good to go.
it's like she's good to go.
Yeah. So I really like the way they did that because once I took notice of that in that particular episode, I saw it with so many things. Everything had a foil. Everything had
Yes.
this is an example of it with this character.
Right.
Here's how you can see it with another character.
Right.
And it's kind of throughout the show. And I love that positioning these perspectives and giving you a place to kind of discuss something from so many
Right.
different angles. Because, of course, it gives you a place to where you can relate. And then it challenges what you thought about maybe conventional wisdom that you thought the whole time. So that probably for me is the strongest thing. And then, like I said, it's been a while since we watched a series that I felt like had no bad episode.
Yeah.
There was no bad episode.
No,
To
there
me,
wasn't.
There was no bad episode.
There wasn't.
know.
If you guys want to comment, let us know some of the pros if you've seen it, let us know some of the pros that you thought about it.
Yeah, she's big on pros and cons.
I am. Pros and cons. So now we're on the cons, and I went first with pros, so you go first with cons.
I struggled with cons. I think and mine is going to come closer to when we get to the spoilers part.
Okay.
I'm not in love with where everything ended up in the end. Like there's people in places that end up maybe not getting as much attention as I thought they deserved by the end of the show. And I'm hoping this is a one series. We're not going to come back and try to do another continuation of the story. So that might be the biggest thing that jumps out at me as a con. Aside from that, like it's hard. Like there are characters I don't like, but I think they're so well written that I'm not supposed to like them. So it's hard for me to give that a con. So your con is just gonna be so much more juicy than mine. What's your con, lady?
My cons, I guess.
I agree with Lauren. She says, sorry.
Yeah.
Lauren says, I like when stories intertwine and challenge your thinking.
Right.
I
I
agree
do
with
too.
that.
And it does that. But I think my one con is Kerry Washington
Sam's here.
Oh, hello, Sam.
Hey,
hello.
Sam. How you doing, sir?
You should have been here a minute ago. I texted you to tell you we were doing this. I gave you a shout out and everything. You've embarrassed me.
Yeah, we don't want to show favoritism, but Sam gets
Favoritism.
Sam gets the hey, we're about to do this thing type of treatment.
So my cons, I think it's hard for me because I had a black mother. You had a black mother.
I did.
And so it's hard for me to see a black child disrespect a black mother and not feel like you should be handling it a little bit differently. It's a little hard for me. So at one point in the story, Kerry Washington's daughter, her daughter is an excellent actress, by the way. We'll probably put the names of the the child actors in the comments.
Great child
but
actors in
there
the
were
show.
some great
Really,
child
and
actors
actually-
in the story.
Actual children, not
Yeah,
like they
actual
went and got
children.
adults to pretend to be kids.
Yeah.
Like these were actual.
No, they did
true to
really
age.
great with emotion
Loved it. Yeah.
and full circle and all that sort of stuff. So I would say definitely her. If her daughter's in anything else, I would definitely check it out. We'll put the name in there because she's worth mentioning.
She's worth.
But she at one point she got really disrespectful with Kerry Washington, like told Kerry Washington to get out of her room and
No, get out of my effing
get
room.
out. Yeah, she said get out of my effing room.
So I think that's
to her mother.
I think that's hard.
No.
I think that's hard for
It's
you
hard.
to talk about without giving them the overall story.
It is, but
because it doesn't just come out of nowhere.
Well, it doesn't have to come out of nowhere. But how many times can you curse at your mother? I can't curse at my mom now. I can't curse at Sharon. If Sharon had Facebook and I started cursing on here, she'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'd be like, Sharon, chill out. Sam says he agrees with the black mama point.
But no, finish the statement.
He said, but Mia was dead ass wrong. So Kerry Washington plays Mia Warren, and her daughter is Pearl Warren. And even though I think Mia was wrong, it still was like, even you at the third point that her daughter cursed her out, you were like, that's too much.
The third one was a little bit, because at that point they were living in it so much that like there was no growth in the character. She was just 1, 2, 3. Like every time she had a interaction with her mom, she was being disrespectful, right? So at the point where the mom isn't moving in a direction and the daughter isn't, they're just doing it back to back. It's like natural reflexes would say, you just check the child at this point. You don't kind of keep letting it rock out of control. But I understand it in the way of what Sam said. The mom was...
Oh, Latifah got a good point. Latifah. She
Don't make points while I'm making points.
No, she said that's what kids do, especially when they're around certain ethnic groups. That's true. Like when you see your friends get away with a lot of stuff, then you think you can try your parents. All I'm saying is, I never had that problem. I feel like I was around a lot of different ethnic groups.
You were.
And my mom would never go for that. You know my mother.
Yeah, but okay. Since let's pull up and park here. But is that the right way? Like,
hey Sam.
Hey Sam, how you doing? When you consider like the behaviors of this character, and it's really hard to talk about it without talking spoilers.
Yes.
But when you consider the behaviors of her mom and how that shaped her life, seeing her, Pearl in her development moments and telling what she always wanted versus what she always got. Our moms aside, do they not leave room for that level of like doubt, disappointment, disrespect, even as human beings? Or is it just she's my mom, never F it? It just doesn't happen.
No, I think we forget that our parents are human. If you're lucky enough, you'll grow up and you'll realize that your parents are human. They make mistakes. So there's choices that they made when they were young that they had to make for the betterment of you. Like our parents are whole humans that it is. They're whole humans that we don't even realize until we get old enough to make our own mistakes.
Right. If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, you get to
meet your parents as
people.
You
get to meet your parents as adults and to get to interact with them. All I'm saying is there's children who I want her to explain the choices, but I also feel like there should be a certain amount of respect for your parent. And it's the parent's job to command that respect. Like there should be. I'm feeding you. I'm clothing you. I'm making sure you're getting the education and all that sort of stuff. I feel like there should be a certain amount of respect.
Read Sam's comment because you're not going to agree with me. But Sam is on my side.
Sam's comment was, but Mia also was one of those live and let live parents. So that floaty, smoky weed, whatever's whatever, I think it would be different if she was a strict parent.
And
Jamal said the same thing.
Because I think for so long we've only seen the tough black mom archetype. That parent exists in our community too.
Yeah.
There is that mom who she is a little bit more loose and free, and she kind of allows her child to breathe. And on some levels, I admire and had desired that kind of mom, because there are points in times where you just want someone to understand you more than to be the authoritarian.
Yeah, but I think authoritarian.
Sure, man,
I still find it as a con because con.
Hey, Kayla and Sam are
they're agreeing. Everybody agrees with Jamal.
Yeah, man.
Log off, you guys. Kayla and Sam, log off. I agree with that. It's still, I think it was hard for me to relate to the Kerry Washington character because
she was tough.
At one point, like it's Elena, which is Reese Witherspoon's character, sort of, she's going in on her, and I just want Kerry Washington to like snap back. I just want her to check her and be like, you can't behave like this. Now, her secrets are out at that point, and all her stuff is exposed. She has secrets. I don't think that's a spoiler.
All of her power was in her secrets, though. Yeah. Like, once she lost that power, you really don't have as much to stand on. Like, you lose your mystery, you lose your backstory. Can I say one thing about Cons? Because I didn't say it.
Go ahead.
The acting from those two. Like, both Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon were acting. They were, like, giving, like, and you, I don't want to take your take. You said it, but I'm going to say it here public so I can get the credit for it. I've never not liked Reese Witherspoon as a person.
Oh, yeah.
And she was, like, menacing in this movie. Like, there's a shot towards the end of it where, you know, she's in a car and she has on a black jacket and she's surrounded and all. And I'm like, this crazy.
After what, like, I almost want to, she
Give
got
the Emmys. That's what I'm talking about.
Latifah, did she though? Latifah said she got the boo moment at the end. I didn't feel like it was a strong enough boo moment. Kerry Washington, where she finally got to say to Elena, like she got to say to Reese Witherspoon. She got to say to her all of the stuff that she sort of been holding in. Like she had the final cards, but I wanted it to be much more dramatic.
I want to make sure we're not getting some kind of extra.
Let us know if we're getting any kind of feedback or anything like that. We don't know. Yeah. Yes, give them their Emmys. That's my only con. I think it's more of a personal thing because of who I am, who my mother was. It's hard for me, but I do agree with you guys. We're all raised differently, and there are different parents. He said the same exact thing. Do you have any cons?
No, you asked me about cons. Like I said about the ending, if we're gonna get there, I can go ahead and talk about it.
Well, don't give a spoiler. Just
like I said, I just think that in a world where you're tying up a show, some of the places where some of the characters end up, for me, they didn't leave me with enough to go away into the sunset with this story. Like, I'm satisfied. I know exactly what this character is going to do, roughly where that character would go. Mm-hmm. And I don't want it to be a reoccurring series, right? So I would much rather like that feeling of a complete ending. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, and I think we lost focus on the main story in the middle. Like, it did get to be about a trial. There's a trial in the story. Look, can we gotta go.
I don't know, because we got some people who haven't seen it, so I don't want to spoil it for them. I want them, like, Sam said it was really good, but he didn't ruin it. Latifah said it was really good, but didn't ruin it, so I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. You gotta let me fly.
I'm just saying, I don't want to ruin it.
Okay, all right, but yeah, so...
You didn't feel like the ending was as strong as you wanted it to be?
Well, no. I feel like the ending... as the story was, but I do feel like I want a little bit more closure on some of the characters. Mm-hmm. Sam said, if you ain't seen it, get out. Now, Sam said that. Sam, okay, so relax. Politely.
So, okay, all right. So we're done.
Okay, so Latifah read the book. She says the book didn't have a complete ending.
Okay, all right. Shout out to you for reading the book.
Thank you for that, because we wondered.
Latifah, let us know if we should read the book. Do you feel like it's worth? Do you should read it beforehand, or do you think it's okay to read it after? And what do you think in comparison the book to the TV show?
Right.
Just a little blurb there.
Tony's starting a book club.
I am. I'm all about a book club. Yeah, I need some books to read.
Tony's definitely starting a book club.
But okay, so that's fine. We'll touch on the spoilers because we've done pros and cons. We'll touch on spoilers.
Well,
anybody who is not,
let's do it this way. All right, this is where we may get spoilery. So I think what we probably should do is give like our score of the show and whether or not we think they should watch it.
Okay, all right. So if I'm giving it a score, I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. And what I mean by that, it's a B+. Only reason I'm not going to give it a 9, most movies or series are a 9 means I'm going to watch them again. Like, I'll immediately want to watch it again. This was heavy. I probably won't go back to it, but it was a great series for what I needed it for. Like, it kept me entertained. I was ready to watch it. I'm going to give it a 8.5 out of 10. So I think, I think it was a really good one. I'm just saying it's not going to get a 9 for me because I'm probably not going to go back to it after this. Like, we'll do this review and I'll be like,
As I'm recapping, my favorite thing about watching it was watching you react to it.
Yeah, because I was
just watching you like seethe through your teeth.
So mad.
And me going, I can't have a child.
Sam says 8.99 out of 10. You feel me?
I think I'm right there with Sam. Yeah. I think a 9.
Steve said don't read the book.
I'm with you.
Thanks, Steve.
I wasn't going to. I think if I got to go out of 10, I'm good with the 9. I was like, I was in this place where I'm just falling out of love with television shows in general. Okay. And then this comes along. Like, rarely do you get something that people recommend that actually hits your personal taste and notes. Mm-hmm. And this kind of from like episode 1, like from the very subtle thing of Elena, Reese Witherspoon, pulls up, sees his black mom sleeping in a car, call the cops.
She calls the cops.
The level of cause and effect that they started hitting from the first 5 minutes of the show to the end was insane to me. It kept me like locked in.
It did.
And like I said, the acting in it, I think the performances, like, we talk about Reese Witherspoon, we talk about Elena, you talked about Pearl. I think Izzy was really good.
Oh, Izzy. The daughter, one of the daughters' name is Isabel. Once again, we'll try and put all the actors and actresses' names in below. But she was really good.
That Karen conversation is a conversation in our house.
Ooh, yes. Okay. Anyway, finish your review.
Yeah, and so...
Is it worth watching?
Oh, definitely. Look, it's
worth it.
It's not a quick bite.
Quick 8 hours.
They are like 45-minute to an hour long episodes. But in terms
You got
of
a Saturday, you don't have anything to do.
yeah, like there's no random episode that turns into a musical. There's no even the episode where they kind of travel back into a character's past, which happens on some shows. But you kind of feel like did we have to do this? This one really did flesh out that character. Honestly, I would say that episode is what determines the rest of that character's arc for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
So if anyone's asking me should they watch it, 100%, hell yeah, don't turn this off and go watch it. But
Yeah.
when we're done,
Go watch it.
Go watch it then, and
Yeah.
come back and tell us what you
Yeah.
thought, because we'll be watching something else then.
Yes.
So
Probably Extraction. That's the next one.
our just watched scores are
8.5.
and 9. I'm
Right.
gonna go 9 because I just feel like
That's fine.
I always do mine relative to yours.
Yes.
So that's our official score.
Yes.
Now-
and to watch it.
Now, to kind of keep the discussion going, if you're interested in doing so, we will talk spoilers now.
A little. We're
But
gonna
I do think that there's a way.
Spoilerage.
I think there's a
Light
way we can
spoilers.
talk about it without spoiling the main
Okay.
things.
All right. Try me.
Okay, so the show opens with us seeing a house burn down. Hence
Right.
the title, Little Fires Everywhere.
Right.
By the end of that show, of course, you do find out who set that fire.
Right. That's the whole premise. Is you're sort of trying to guess of who started the fire because in
It
the
was always
beginning,
burning.
Yeah.
That's the word. Sorry. Billy
in the
Joel,
beginning
man.
they addressed that like who started the fire, who started the fire. It's a whole house that burns down.
Right.
And so by the end of it, we were both trying to figure out who do you think started the fire.
I had so many theories.
Yeah.
What's the craziest theory you had?
I think my craziest theory was that Kerry Washington started the fire.
Okay, mine was one of the daughters started the fire
Mm-hmm.
and was also like had committed suicide during
Yeah.
the fire. I had some outlandish.
One of
going
them
on
I
in my
also
head.
thought Reese Witherspoon started it. Like at the end of it, she feels so beaten down and just
Yeah.
like she's beaten down because her life that she thought was perfection has sort of come to an end as she knows it. So I thought maybe she had started it like
I had
let's
that
just burn all the shit. Some Angela Bassett type shit, like waiting to exhale. It'll never happen to me again. Of course it
Comes a
wasn't
point
that.
when you will exhale.
Yeah, of course it wasn't that, but that's what I thought. So
Sorry.
it goes on the transition of like from that point and then to we find out who actually started the fire and stuff.
Right. But I don't think that you have to give that away to talk about the themes in the show.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. So I think like you definitely have to talk about race,
Yeah.
racial interaction in the show, which
Yeah.
is, it's the show. The whole show is this white woman meets this black lady, calls the cops on her first.
Well, let me talk a little bit.
Do you think,
Let me
you
talk a
think-
little bit about why we say Reese Witherspoon, like who I love as an actress. I actually disliked her in this because she was doing some great acting. She
doing a lot.
definitely takes the privileged role.
Yes.
Like she counts herself as what I would say
And a
is
victim.
a savior. Like she's a savior to the helpless in her mind, but she doesn't know. She just assumes that because you're black or a different race or something like that, that you're helpless. And so she goes out of her way. At one point in the series, she offers Kerry Washington, who is an artist, who didn't ask for help, who is basically just trying
off
to
of
live her life.
just based off appearance.
Just based off
She
appearance,
offered her.
she offered her a job as a maid at her house.
Right.
Just she thinks this woman is down. So to her, it's like, I'm going to help you. I'm going to employ you. I'm going to give you a job as a maid. If you've seen it, comment about that. But to me, it's like she offers her this job and
Sam got quotes. White women always wants to be friends with their maid.
that's what I'm saying. So
Because it relieves the guilt of having had a maid in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? I am not your maid and I am not your friend. All right, Sam.
Ooh.
Give Sam his Emmy. What are we talking about?
I know.
we
You saw it
talking
twice
about?
though.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to Wayne. We say hey. But yeah, it's just like Reese Witherspoon counts herself as somebody. I think she's just a little tone deaf in so many things. And I think this is what we've been facing with racism, where people think that they're helping, but you're kind of being offensive. Like you're assuming,
Yeah,
like
no question.
there's people who, my sister who has a young face or whatever, will go through the store. She's a black woman, and she'll have a kid, and she'll be like, "Are you the first person? Is this your child? Oh no, what are you gonna do?" Like it's an automatic assumption that she had this child in high school or something like that,
Right.
And how she making it work? Because of course she couldn't possibly have a husband. It's just
Right.
these assumptions that black women sort of get put on them. If you're seeing like if I'm babysitting, if I'm I think a lot of people assume I'm just naturally not married because I'm a black woman. Like, they'll see me and they'll assume. And I think there's a lot of assumptions that even Reese Witherspoon's character makes about Kerry Washington under the guise of I'm helping you, when Kerry Washington never asks for help.
Never asks for help, and you take the superiority stance of, because I'm, in this case, because I'm white and because I've come from this privileged background, I'm offering you a chance. There was a point in the show, and it hit me the wrong way. Excuse me. There was a point in the show where she did say, someone is giving this person a chance. But the idea was, just because they're associated with us, they now have a chance. There's no other way to have a chance unless you have our life.
What I will say is Reese Witherspoon's daughter, one of her daughters, because she has 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. One of her daughters is a white daughter, a white girl dating a black African American male.
Underrated storyline.
It is an underrated storyline, but it was a good one. But even that, every time the African American boyfriend comes over, Reese Witherspoon lets the boyfriend know, I marched with Martin Luther King, and it was a great moment for everybody, not just black folks.
Right, microaggression.
It was.
No, at one point they repositioned the March on Washington. Yeah, because in the show they referenced it, but it wasn't for the racial equality. It was, we marched for everyone's rights and freedoms, and it was like, yeah, even the history books you guys gave us tell us that that's not what that march was about. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to give you that tip, but keep going, keep rocking.
I think that's mostly like, ultimately, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like you're going to get out of it. The acting in it is phenomenal. I think the storyline is really good. I feel like if you get a chance to check it out, go ahead and check it out. It's just a lot. And then I didn't guess what the twist was gonna be at the end, who's gonna be the person, and I think I like that. I think
I like that.
Even though I would have liked for them to expand a little bit on it a little bit more, I think I really enjoyed the show, and you
gotta guess.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah, like, look, man, it's probably ripe for a lot more discussion. We did watch the last 2 episodes today. And try not to talk to each other about it so we could be a little fresh for this. But all jokes aside, it's still a little bit earlier this evening. That if you have a free hour, 2 hours,
check out the first 2 hours.
Yeah, give it the first couple episodes. Just give it a view of the first couple episodes, and honestly, I think you'll find yourself knocking out at least 4 of them. Without even wanting to, because it is that good and that well written and that well structured of a show. That's all I got.
Yeah. Any last minute comments? I see. If you have any comments, go ahead and comment below. Sam was the last comment. What did he say?
Well, Sam, we got one more after that. Sam says Reese was definitely the why wouldn't you want the kind of life I've created attitude, and Mia was the I don't want that shit because it ain't good. Yeah. Sam is making me curse. And then Lauren, to answer your question, no, it's not present day. It's set in 92, 90s. I think it's like 92 if you want to be specific, but it's definitely a 90s film. Which I think is I think is a good place to set it, because when you think about it, the 90s was 30 years ago now.
Yeah, and they actually do a little LBGQT.
Yeah, that's in there.
That's in there. So they talk a little bit about what
LGBTQ.
What did I say? LB.
You said QT.
Okay. Sorry. What is it? LB.
Advocate.
LB.
GTQ. Yes.
Okay. I get them out of order.
That's cool.
But either way, there's talk about a child's sexuality and what it is to be homosexual in the 90s and not be feeling like you can come out to anyone because people weren't tolerant or they were homophobic.
Yeah,
and honestly, I don't know if that's changed. It's changed a little bit, but not that much.
I can't speak to that experience. So,
but
I would assume it's gotten a little bit better and a little bit worse. If I'm being honest, I think even with that,
Sam said LGBTQIAAP. That sounds like
you know what that means. I know. You got
it does sound like that.
Sorry. But even with that, they did discuss it, and there are not just one, but there are 2. Gay characters in the show, and I think one of them gets their shine in terms of being a young white girl. She gets a lot of attention, and the other one is kind of revealed.
And she broke my heart. She broke my heart. What
do you mean?
The character Izzy, she broke my heart. That period where you're awkward, you already feel like you don't have a place in the world. A lot of people if you're lucky, you fit in high school. You find your place in high school early on.
Lucky, right.
If you're lucky. If not,
or somewhere with your family, with somebody.
But
everyone
she literally did not fit in at school, and when she came home, she had her mother did not understand her, and her father was silent because he didn't want to argue with the mother.
Right.
A lot of times, men just don't want to argue. You know that.
Yeah, it's tiring. It's tiring.
So I felt it's like to have no place where you fit in. I think that's something that's overrated. Just as a side note, like. On the days where I feel the most beat down, and there's times I've hated my job, I've hated going there and all that sort of stuff.
Hey man, hold on.
No. I'm saying not now. I love my job now. But I've hated my job, and it's like, if nothing else, I could come home to somebody who I loved, who I respected. It's something, that stuff you take for granted. And in this, Izzy had neither one of those things. Like, she didn't have a place.
Izzy's a great
character. She is. Like, if you get a chance, she had a lot of downs. It was mostly downs.
Izzy walks this tightrope where, like, she's going through all of this, and you can tell it's a lot on her in her quieter moments, but she has such a strength and defiance in her. Mm-hmm. You know, even in being smart enough to seek out someone to kind of vent those things through because she wasn't getting it at home.
Right.
I really love that character. And if I'm being honest
Lauren,
with you,
you're right. Having a safe place is really important to your well-being.
Yes, definitely.
It is. It grounds you because the world is going to beat you up.
Oh, yeah.
If they get a chance to, they're going to beat you up. Even now, not to go too far into it, but dealing with the pandemic, if you don't have a safe place, a place to unplug from all of this stuff, you are going to crash and burn. Like, you need a touchstone.
I agree with that. Good point, Lauren.
Izzy and her dad did have a relationship, but near the end, Tifa, that last episode,
but he was silent. He was an advocate, but he was silent. He was, I'm on your side, and it was very much like Izzy, and what we find out is her, I guess, would have been girlfriend. I'm hesitant to say it, not because of girlfriend, but not wanting to spoil it. But you know, he was in her corner, but it was still a very silent, like, I'm going to be here for you and it's understood. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to stand up for you publicly. Mm-hmm. And I think that's still just not enough. Like, we've passed the time of being able to silently advocate and not have to put ourselves on the front line. Like, there are times where we all have to stand out there and say, nope, I'm on the side of right in the situation. Yeah. And I will take the same scrutiny that they take for whatever you think about it.
Yeah.
The dad was fed up of the wife and lashed out.
He did. That's a part of being a parent. You'll see that, like I said, parents are human. So there's times where they're having a bad day and they lash out at the kids. And it's not anything that the kid did. It's just more of they're lashing out at the kid because they're having a tough day. My mother has done that to me, where when she was having her own bad day and I took the brunt of it. I told her later on, like, you know, you was wrong for that, right?
Yeah, those are always fun conversations.
Yeah, they are.
to sit next to.
So he did have his own issues.
She said it was a given relationship. Mm-hmm. Also, he had, he was wrestling with a lot.
There's so many things to
unpack.
It's a
lot in this show.
It is. We can literally go on and on about this show because there's the relationship between the Reese Witherspoon and her husband, Reese Witherspoon and her kids.
You know what?
What?
Sorry. When he said, I'm going to get my pacifier.
You didn't get that?
During the time of watching the show, I forgot that's what she said.
Went to,
at some point in time.
Oh, you didn't get it?
No, yeah. I still understood what he meant, but I just didn't connect it to the instance in the show. Tifa, good job, fam. Good job. Way to bring that back. Way to make me feel like I was never wrong.
You were wrong. I think that's it, guys. No, don't cut me out.
Cut your camera.
I think that's it. Watch it. Come back. Tell us what you think. Write it in the comments.
We got to keep a way to. Yeah, we got to keep a way to kind of keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Sam said Reese was low key a bird. Yo, Reese got busy. She would escape and get her pacifier. You feel me?
Oh.
Reese was Tifa. That's how y'all do in New York. That's what happened.
She wasn't in New York, was she?
No, she went to New York. Oh no, the first time she was
from
in
Harlem. That's not what they do.
Different kind of New York.
That's a different kind of New York.
Lauren, we love you too. We thank you for hanging out with us. Like you said, take some time to watch the show. Watch the Kerry Washington faces. Understand that I made the better ones.
No.
And if you want to talk about it, hit us back up. Because and honestly, if you got suggestions on what we should watch next, which we know Sam got one, but if anybody else has suggestions on what we should watch next, hit us with it. Because We like doing this. I think Extraction might be
next.
We've seen a lot of people talking about this Netflix movie Extraction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
with Thor. What is his real name?
Thor Odinson.
No, Thor. He plays Thor. He's name
Chris
is
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. That's
Right.
his name.
You know Liam, little brother.
No way. Is he Liam Hemsworth?
He's the older brother.
He's Liam.
He's the older brother.
His name is Liam though.
He's Chris.
Oh, who's Liam then?
Liam is.
This is not related.
He was in like Maze Runner. I don't know. But yeah, like I'm not brainless action flick guy, so I'm not looking forward to Extraction. But I'm gonna give it a chance because I've seen a lot of people saying they thought it was good. And if you guys want to have this conversation, watch that too. But first, Little Fires Everywhere. Very accurately named. There really are little fires everywhere.
There are.
Throughout this show.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
It's worth the watch. Thank you for tuning in. Come back. I don't know. We're probably gonna be quarantined for the rest of May. I know everybody else is out going and doing stuff, but we're gonna be in for the rest of May.
Yeah,
so check out our next reviews.
Yeah, if y'all got Saturday nights to give up, we got Saturday nights to take from.
Yeah.
We'll keep trying to watch stuff and keep doing this. Maybe, maybe we're back sooner. Maybe we're back. Sam, I promise you we won't take as long because Sam has been hitting Tony like, boo-boo, y'all said a week ago. Y'all said 7 days. Like, he's been on this. She's been in my ear, but I've been the hold up.
Yeah.
I'll take the brunt of that.
It was his fault, Sam. Thank you. It wasn't. It was me. All right. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
We're logging out in 5,
2,
4, 3.
1. I can't log out and do this. Baby, one of us got to hit the button.
Press the button.
I got it. You're going to mess up something. Peace.